If you enjoy listening to inspirational stories from people just like us, facing the fear and doing it anyway, then you're in the right place. My name is Claire Hill, and this is the No Rest for the Vivid podcast. Hello everyone, happy Thursday if you're listening on a Thursday. If not, happy some day of the week. I know some of you actually do listen on a Thursday. Thanks very much. By the way, before I get started, do you follow the podcast or subscribe to the podcast? If you don't, I would love it if you go to the home screen or near the episode and press the plus sign on Apple, if you're listening on Apple, and I think the other ones are subscribe, and it'll be on the home screen. Oh my God, I would appreciate it so much. And don't forget, you can review the podcast as well if you enjoy it. Rate and review. It does really mean the world. So thank you in advance. So how's my week going? Well, I had a wonderful weekend with my friends. I went out for dinner Friday night, and it was the first time I'd been out with my husband since before COVID. So that was really cool. So it's like 2 years. And on Saturday, I went and had a posh afternoon tea with my girls at the Wolseley. Saw Christopher Biggins. We thought he looked lonely, but I don't think he did. I think he was just happy in his own company. I'm not a big fan of afternoon teas, but I'm telling you now, that one has won me over. I am wheat-free due to my complicated stomach. And the food, oh my goodness, it was so good. It's the best gluten-free food I've ever had in my life. It was delicious. Oh my God, it was so good. So that was a massive treat. And we celebrated the fact that I have been asked to do a huge commission for a hotel in, I was going to say Australia. It's not Australia, it's Switzerland. Zurich in Switzerland. I'm super excited and also equally terrified and being brave. I have worked out how I'm going to do it, but when they asked me, well, I did sort of know how I was going to do it, but I was terrified and thought it's one of those opportunities I couldn't turn away. I couldn't turn it down through fear. So I just embraced the fear and was equally terrified and brave at exactly the same time. And it's paid off. And yeah, I'm just very excited. I can't wait for the wire to arrive so I can get started. I'm just so excited. Could I say excited anymore? And in the Vivi Club membership, I have been, so if you don't know, I run a membership for small business owners, and it's really, I bloody love it in there. I'm in there all the time in the group, looking at the messages everyone sends to each other, dipping in and out and replying, if they need me. I've been doing training this week. I did a warrior workshops. That's like the mini trainings every week. And I did it on mapping out your plan. Did tell one of the members this week the story of how I got my husband. I'd split up with somebody, and I was just at that point in my life where I was like, I've had enough. I've had enough of being in relationships where I'm chasing them. I feel like a mug. I mean, don't get me wrong. Everybody that I have been out with are decent human beings. But sometimes when you're with the wrong person, you're just not the most decent version of yourself, are you? And I probably wasn't for myself either. But I just had enough. And I said, right, this is the list. I'm going to write a list of all of the most amazing things that I want in a man. My dream, my true love. I don't need a man. I love my husband and he gives me a lot of emotional support. Anyway, I wrote on this list, I was like, all this, has to have a car, lives on his own, etc., loads, older than me. And like all of my, apart from one boyfriend, and it was only a couple of months older he was, everyone else had been younger, whereas my husband is like 4.5 years older than me. And yeah, just having some direction in their life. Anyway, the list went on and on, even to like, I don't even know, something to do with his clothes. And then 2 weeks later, in comes my husband into my life, which was actually 10 years ago almost. In 3 days, it begins the best week of my life. And in that best week of my life, Beyonce wore a flower that I'd made out of ribbon on her foot through some work that I did for a shoe designer, which was amazing. I also got my job as a teacher, which, well, 9 years after that, 8 years after that, I left to do this. So it was a good run. It was a good run. What else happened that week? Oh, and I met Dan. Met Dan and went out on our first date. And by the end of the week, on the Friday when I had the date, and this amazing week started like on the Monday, my face hurt so much from smiling. It was the best week ever. It was so good. Apart from the week that Jackson was born as well. Oh my God, so good. Anyway, so I'd written this list and then he walked in and he basically was the list. So I told one of my one-to-one clients this story and she did the same thing. And a few weeks later, she's met someone. It's too early to tell whether it's going to be the love of her life, but he ticks every box. So you never know. So if you're looking for love, write a list. But I was like, this could work for anything. So I spoke to another member of the Vivid Club today and said, have you written down who your absolute dream client is that you want to work for? She does admin, virtual assistant she's amazing at what she does. And she said, no, I haven't done that work because it was part of the master lessons work. So in the workbook that I do. So I'm definitely going to do a warrior workshop on this. Anyway, I've gone right round the houses with my point. I'm coming back to it now about mapping out your vision. And mapping out your vision is all about giving yourself that real drive and focus. Now, I'm not suggesting that I wrote this list down of what my husband's amazing attributes and created him. What I did was just open my eyes to that kind of person walking into my life. So I saw more opportunities. And it's the same thing with business. So I have my ideal client that I want to work with one-to-one. I have my ideal member of the Vivid Club written down. And I tell you now, everybody in the Vivid Club so far, in the Vivid Club membership, is exactly what I write on this list. And I've also got one for my ideal customer for Vivid Wire. And really, do you know what? I haven't got one for my ideal listener, but for the podcast. The thing is what it does is it just opens your mind to the opportunities of bringing these people in. And when you design content and your marketing, if you're running a small business, you are speaking directly to that person. And so it's going to reach those perfect people because you're talking to that kind of person and therefore they're going to get in touch with you. So try it. You might, I just bloody love it. I just love having a plan. And I love planning in flexibility. Like I've actually booked a midweek day off for myself next week. It's to celebrate our 10-year anniversary with my husband. We're actually getting matching tattoos. Now, some of you might be thinking, oh my goodness, that's ridiculous. But he's got tattoos, I've got tattoos, and it's just a really good, like we've been together 10 years. We're really solid. And I just think it'll be fun. So we're doing that. And then we're going to go for a posh lunch because why not? We haven't got Jackson. So we're doing that. What was I going to say? So this week as well, was speaking on the Vivid Club Instagram about superpowers. And I had a bit of not an epiphany, just an awareness, a super awareness about my skills and also how we always downplay actually what we do well. And seeing my girls at the weekend, we always say this, like we're making it, I suppose, everybody's in this situation where you've got such old friends and it's finding the time and booking things in. And what we do now is we do not leave each other until we book the next visit in that we're seeing each other, and our cups fill up and our hearts are full, and I feel like it's like they're my anchor. It's just brilliant. Like all of my friends, just remembering Not that I forget, I'm myself all the time. I can't be any different, but just they fill the core of me up. Do you know what I mean? You can't answer me, but I'm sure you do know what I mean. So I was thinking, there was somebody wrote a post, and it was really like got me in the eyeballs, because it just said some really kind things about me, and I felt embarrassed. And it was about the charity work that I did, raising money for Ukraine, and I made the hearts that have all gone out now, and we raised £328. And I know that's not a huge amount of money, but I needed to contribute something. And I have plans to do some more work in the next few weeks, because this problem is not going away, is it? And they're going to need help for a while. So I feel that spreading out the work that I'm going to do, and I'm considering as well choosing a Ukraine charity for my charity of the year next year as well. But I'll give you some more information close to the time, because I changed charities on the 1st of June. And if you didn't know, my charity of the year at the minute is Refuge, that help domestically abused women, so, and men actually. And so where was I? Charity. So this person, this wonderful human, says some really lovely things in this post, and I showed the girls, because I got it on the Saturday night, and they were like, it's all true. But in my head I was like, oh, I'm so embarrassed, I feel I suppose I was not ashamed, but we just felt really embarrassed that somebody had said nice things about me. And then on my drive home, because now I don't really drive anywhere, so it's really nice to just be in the car. There was no traffic. It was such a lovely drive, driving back from my friend Shamma's house. And I was thinking, why do we feel embarrassed? That might be my superpower. That might be how I help people to be the best versions of themselves. This is why I do what I do. This is why I started a podcast. This is why I make wire art. This is why I'm a coach and a mentor. This is why I started up the membership, the Vivid Club membership. I did it to try and help people have better lives. Not try, but actually do it. I'm resisting there, not stepping into it. I've set them up to help people be the best versions of themselves, and everybody on this planet deserves to have the opportunity to be the best version of themselves, their true selves. Take it or leave it. Now I have learned that I am me, and this is me, and I am unashamedly, if that's a word, unashamedly I'm unashamed to be my true self now. I love myself, in a good way, not in a, oh, she loves herself. Why did we do that when we was at school, sitting going, she loves herself. Good for her. If someone said that, I'd be like, good for her. We all need to learn from her. How does she love herself? Not sitting there berating ourselves all the time. The person who is the horriblest to me is myself. Like, I'm the worst boss I've ever had. But I'm learning to be so much kinder, actually. I'm going to take that back, because 6 months ago, no, longer than that ago, I've done a lot. I've done a lot of work, and I am much kinder to myself. I'm really learning to have my own back. And for a very large part of my life, I didn't have anyone having my own back. So I'm very happy to have my own. I'm learning. I'm almost there, I think. But we hide away from the compliments. And it's the same thing, oh, I love your shirt. And then you downplay it, don't you? Oh, yeah, it was a £5 from Primark. You hide away from your superpowers. You hide away from the good that you put in the world. Why do we do that? And it's about shining your light, isn't it? Why should you shine your light any dimmer just to, outshine somebody else, when actually you're going to lift them up and shine your light on them so they can shine their light, if you get that metaphor. So I'm done. I'm done with hiding away from my superpowers. I'm stepping into my superpower, just like, what's her face off Frozen 2? What's her name? Elsa? Yeah. Elsa, she steps into her power. She's the one she's always been waiting for. All this time we search for people to help us and search for people to make us happy, when actually we can make ourselves happy. I'm not taking it away from community and spending time with loved ones. That's another thing that we need. But actually at the core of what we do right now. There's nothing else in your life that makes you happier than yourself. And that's where you move away from this, I'll be happy when, I'll be happy when, no, actually, you can be happy right now. You could be happy right now by just changing how you see what you have. So I really thought about this, like, what is my superpower? And my superpower is helping other people realize what their superpower is, finding it, amplifying it, and really helping them to make loads of money out of it. That's what my superpower is. And I love it. And also, I've got 2 superpowers, sorry. But why am I saying sorry? No, I'm stepping into my powers. Step into your power, show yourself. Bloody love Frozen 2. And I don't care that I'm 37. I'm a 37-year-old woman that bloody loves Disney. All right? Good. I'm glad that all of you agree that that is a really good thing to like. I mean, obviously, El Canto is not El Canto, Encanto. Do you know, I haven't watched it this week. I've forgotten what it's called. Encanto. That's the best Disney film. And that's all about, isn't it? Just being yourself, but being who you are is the magic that is you. So everyone has a superpower. Oh, look how I've spun that into Encanto. Oh, talented at this, and I see superpower. But another superpower I've got is I'm an ideas factory. And every client that I work with, or anyone, we do group coaching on the Vivid Club now as well. And we call the hero hours. And it was yesterday. Yesterday we had our first session and it was so good. And I just was coming out of all of these ideas. Like my brain works so quickly. Just had all these amazing ideas. And so, yeah, that's also my superpower. And I'm very generous with my ideas. I love giving out ideas. I mean, you don't have to take them. I've got enough. Like I'm abundant with ideas, I tell you. So you can take them or leave them. But they're there. And yeah, God, do you know what? I've really got myself fired up about that. We really all should step into our superpowers, not even if anything, all of us have superpowers, all of us are magic. And isn't it wonderful that we live in this world where you can just be who you want to be? I just think of Jackson, my son, and he's like, he can do anything he wants. He can be anyone he wants to be. He's not going to have a box. And all those years I tried to fit into other people's boxes and I was never supposed to be in a box in the first place. Just blows my mind. Oh, love it. Love it. I love that I've got to this point eventually. Everyone used to say that your 30s, you really do step into yourself. And I really have. Love it. Oh, I feel like I need to take a deep breath now. Whew. So I hope that's inspired you a little bit. Step into your superpower. Please message me and tell me what your superpower is and that you're going to step into it, because I want you to. I really want you to. I think I know some of the people that listen to this podcast, but all of you are pretty special. Pretty special. All right, I'm going to leave you now. I was so busy today working. Busy is a bad word, but I was jam-packed with, which in a grateful way, I love being this busy, by the way, because I'm not overwhelmed by it, because my husband said to me, you are going to get all of this done. You aren't going to fail. Just smile and enjoy the process. And I was like, oh my God, that's like the best thing you could have ever said to me. So I was like, you're right, babe. I am going to enjoy the process. And I just walked around with a big smile, because how lucky am I I'm so grateful for Vivid Wire. I'm so grateful for the Vivid Club and the community that I'm building. And it's just, oh God, the women in there are amazing. And I'm really grateful for this podcast. And I'm really grateful for my friends. And I'm really grateful for my family. And I'm really grateful for this amazing, huge project I've got in a hotel in Switzerland. It blows my mind that I'm gonna even make this piece of work is 5 meters wide. 5 meters, shipping it. Oh my goodness, is the headache, but I think we sorted it. But yeah, I'm just so freaking grateful. And at every point when we look back at our lives right now, look back at you years ago, I bet you're living the dream that you wished that you had back then. I think we just need to remember that. And like we said last week in with my podcast with Joe, if you haven't listened to it, it's episode 23. I think I'm on 24. I didn't look. But just think, life is perfect right now. It's absolutely perfect. We just have to accept that perfect is actually imperfect. And then it's just not complete. We just need to keep learning and smiling and gaining experiences and memories and stuff. Oh, and I poetic. Okay, I'm going to leave you now. I don't like my episodes to go on too long because, you don't want to hear me wang on too long. But I do hope you have a wonderful day. And just to remind you that I think I might have already said it, but just in case, if you're interested, Vivid Club membership opens next Friday on the 25th and closes again on the 31st of March. And if you're interested in working with me one-to-one, I do have a couple of spaces. So yeah, just send me a message, send me an email. All my contact stuff's in the bottom of in the show notes. And that's it for this week. Have a good one. Thank you so much for listening to the No Rest for the Vivid podcast, written, produced and hosted by Claire Hill, and music has been composed by my brother, Phil Vidler.